There is only 43 minutes of air left in the cabin. After 43 minutes, our brains will suffer irreversible damage. According to the probabilistic optimal solution, we should prioritize abandoning disabled individuals who have lost the ability to move within 10 minutes. React. All of you, shut up. If you make another sound, we'll all die together. B06. The first fracture in the steel hull. The roar vanished in a heartbeat. The space-time rift slammed shut behind the bucket, cutting off the screams of 20 billion souls and the blinding glare of the antimatter explosion back in the solar system. Like regurgitated debris from some cosmic beast, the ancient ship lurched out of the jump lane, drifting into the absolute, freezing void of deep space, where not a single star dared to shine. Every holographic screen on the console flickered and died. The thrusters went cold, leaving the ship tumbling in 0G. Inside the hold, only the emergency green lights pulsed against the steel mesh, casting twisted, eerie shadows over the four blood-soaked girls. The silence was heavy, like liquid mercury pressing down on their lungs. The only sound left was the of a short, circuiting sound, the severed leg of ABA, the nanny bot, dragging against the metal deck. Warning: primary life support, integrity at 72%. The bucket's old. Synthesizer rasped. Cabin atmosphere. Only 43 minutes. Remaining. Dimensional. Logic noise detected. Suggestion. Self-format. No formatting. Xiang Chuxia floated in midair. A few beads of blood from her forehead drifted like red pearls in the weightlessness. Her eyes were like stagnant water, unblinking. In the darkness, her absolute rationality algorithm was precisely capturing every physical data point in the hold. Her voice had zero human emotion, cold, like factory-fresh industrial unit. The buckets, self-consistent, reality shifter, is overloaded, but the logic bubble hasn't popped yet. The biggest threat is oxygen. At this consumption rate, our brains will suffer irreversible necrosis in 43 minutes. She tapped at the broken auxiliary panel with steady fingers, her tone chillingly cruel. Based on optimal probability, we should discard the incapacitated individuals within 10 minutes to conserve oxygen for the remaining 3. As the words left her lips, sudden sharp, agonizing pain erupted deep in her cold, formatted chest. She didn't know what it was. It didn't exist in her logic database as physical trauma. Felt like a scrap of humanity, long since deleted, screaming in blood and shadow from the bottom of her data noise. She glitched for a microsecond, then forced the pain down, abling it as system interference. The words hit the silent hold like an ice pick through brittle glass. Discard? Say that again. You emotionless freak. Cross the hold. Elena let out a manic, bitter laugh. Her face, stained with soot and explosive grime, looked twisted, yet incredibly fragile in the green emergency light. She wasn't screaming, but her shaky, choked-up voice gave her away. She gripped her own arms, her nails digging into her leather jacket. She was using that arrogant, broken laugh to hide the shame and despair of being tossed aside by her parents like garbage. She was like a moon princess dragged through the mud, clinging to the last shreds of her dignity. She lunged toward Chuxia, her trembling finger pointing at the crashing account balance on the terminal. I just burned billions of credits to turn that scout ship into a fireball. I didn't give up my own life. What makes a fire? Starved Martian piece of junk like you. Think you have the right to do the math on ours? Chuxia didn't flinch. Her eyes, filled with scrolling green code, analyzed Elena's heart rate and blood pressure in a millionth of a second. It's a fact, she said, calm and hollow. No emotion implied. You. Elena's pride snapped. Her hand lashed out, aiming a slap at Chuxia's face. Thwack. Before the blow landed, piece of jagged titanium plating, still trailing sparks from the thrusters, whistled past Elena's ear and buried itself deep into the bulkhead. Shut up. Leah was slumped against the cargo grid. Her finger, caught in the ring, was bleeding, the blood drifting into a crimson ribbon in the zero-G. She let out a twisted, jagged laugh, the sound of a street kid who'd seen too much, a wild animal's reflex when pushed to the edge of death. She had formatted her first love, Jace. Her cortex was empty, but her heart felt like it was exploding. She hissed, eyes full of cold malice. My heart, it hurts like someone's trying to rip it out. You two want to die? Go ahead. I'll peel your necks like fruit if you make another sound. The gravity anchors are set. The suits are dead. We're all ants on the same sinking ship. Shut it, or we die together. The air was getting thin, suffocating. The three girls glared at each other in the gloom, their clashing waves of cold logic, madness, and rage at a breaking point. Then a glitched, stuttering voice cut through the tension. Oh my, the coolant is 400 days overdue. Young ladies don't fight. Your clothes are on backward. Such messy girls. ABA will make you dinner. It was ABA. His severed mechanical leg was sparking blue, dragging behind him like a broken spider. He hunched over, clutching his chest, crawling toward them with the stubborn persistence of a machine that had forgotten how to stop. His warmth and care. Code was leaking, corrupted by damage, yet burning brighter than ever. He didn't care about the catastrophe. He didn't care that he was dying. He only cared about one thing, making sure their clothes were straight. He reached Chuxia, his rough, scarred metal fingers gently brushing the soot off her ankle. Little one, you're bleeding. Does it hurt? ABA has iodine. Pull your collar up. Don't catch a cold. Turn, dragging his sparking frame toward Elena. He reached out with two trembling, soot-stained fingers, painstakingly pulling the torn collar of her leather jacket back into place. Aaliyah, who had been hiding in the shadow of the console, finally broke. She sobbed, her tears floating away like diamonds in the weightless air. ABA, top, your core is grinding to pieces. She lunged forward, burying her face in the robot's cold, heavy lead-lined shoulder. I'll be good. My clothes aren't backward. Look, the zipper is up. Stop the algorithm. Please, just stop. ABA's hand hovered, then clumsily aligned Aaliyah's zipper. Don't cry, little one. Keep your clothes straight. BA will never forget you. The voice was glitchy, absurd, and impossibly warm. The cold logic, the madness and the malice, all just topped. Chuxia stared at the floating tears, the piercing pain in her chest growing into a roar. She didn't understand why the sight of the robot and the girl crying made her feel like her own system was tearing apart. Elena's grip on Chuxia's collar loosened. She looked down at her jacket, smoothed out by the clumsy, loving hands of a dying machine, and the madness in her eyes dissolved into profound, cosmic grief. Aaliyah wiped her eyes, her resolve hardening. She slammed her hand onto the black market terminal. "Shut up, all of you. The bucket isn't dead." Her voice was shaky, but her eyes burned. The terminal, it just rebooted. A green glow illuminated their faces. The aliens, those lords who want to harvest our memories, they're losing their minds right now. On the screen, a series of bids scrolled by. For Aaliyah, her memory of that failed, messy, chaotic home-cooked meal was just garbage data, something she wanted to erase. But for these high-dimensional lords, whose brains were frozen in a state of absolute, soulless perfection, that memory, that messy, chaotic, raw human emotion, was the most expensive, exquisite delicacy in the universe. The lords were bidding fortunes. Rare minerals and high-energy gems began pouring into their account. In the second minute of the end of the world, in the cold, slow hell of space, the firefly began to rise. The alien lords are buying a specific strain. We became their gods. Ignition.